All right, we've made it here to the implementation guide, and that means that you've got your buyer's blueprint rocking and rolling. You've got your strategic and creative brief completed. You are targeting multiple different segments of your audience. You're understanding the frameworks and the messaging that can reach them. And then we're creating micro content and brainstorming who, what, where, when, why, and how questions to create content that builds thought leadership and topic authority, any product, market, or niche that we want to be creating content around. And so all of that said and done, what are we going to do with this information we have right here? Well, the answer to that is quite a bit. And that is going to depend on what your goals are as an entrepreneur or a marketing leader, or you're a founder of an idea, or you're looking to maybe start a business, or you're a corporate executive and you're looking to integrate better marketing research and utilizing AI across the teams in your organization. So the first step is really understanding what your goals are at the first place, and what, based on the brief that we've created, are the next steps for putting those ideas into action. So for the buyer's blueprint, for starters, it's a great idea to go and survey your audience along this, and also use those surveys as a positive feedback loop to create new and updated buyer's blueprints over time from the feedback of your audience. And so if you can survey your customers and your best customers and your worst customers and figure out who are the people that we really want to be targeting and speaking to directly. Is there an 80-20 of our customer base that if we could have more of those and know how to get more of those customers with our marketing, then who is that? And if you can identify that going into this exercise, then it's going to help make your content all more cohesive and consistent across the board. But you want to have that buyer's blueprint ready, and then you want to be able to go and take that and then take it to the next level with your content to go and execute and implement it across your team. But also, if you know that you're going to need a ton of these, then you might want to consider how you're going to be maybe potentially integrating this entire workflow into your agency. And you can do that by licensing it from us, and reach out to me to, if that's something that you're open or considering for your business, or simply running this process yourself and training up teammates and members on what you've learned in the book. But again, we are constantly innovating and developing this process as a whole. And so stay tuned with what we're doing at GenAI University and what we're building with Market Sauce and this methodology, because there are going to be more advanced uses for this. But fundamentally, you've got to have that foundation of who you're speaking to. And that's what this section is all about. And so make sure you're testing and validating and seeing what questions work. Out of all the 10 pain points that you develop, what of those 10 pain points, or what 1, 2, or 3 of them tend to be the real hot buttons? And then how would we want to cater your messaging to those messages and the pain points that are the real hot button pain points, and identifying the symptoms of those pain points and marketing to the symptoms, and then positioning your product as the solution to their problem. And so continue to refine and test and iterate as you're going through this, and as you're getting data back, then running this workflow again to upgrade and enhance the insights that you're developing, leveraging AI in this process. So that's for step 1, and that is just general recommendations for how you can go about validating that all of the content that you're developing in this process. Because again, if you're using AI with it, you want to make sure that you're validating it or running it by a real expert that can confirm or deny certain things, but also fact checking the research that you're pulling in with any links. And you can use AI to help you with sourcing these links to back up your arguments and your points. So a lot of different uses, especially when you're inside of a tool in a workflow like this, even in ChatGPT right now, where you can go and pull and answer different questions from different aspects of topics of conversation and otherwise. So that is for the first section. So the second section that you're going to want to implement in some general guidelines here for the strategic and creative brief is that this is foundational for your going to market strategy. And so you want to create the videos, you want to cast the actors, or get user generated content, or do and film podcast episodes, or work with the podcast guests to get those episodes, and create the content that is going to be on the different topics of what you've outlined inside of this brief. But also, again, testing and validating the ideas in there. If you get 10 different market segments and you never even tried marketing to 5 of them before, determine whether or not it actually makes sense for you to really focus in on them, or is that maybe like a nice idea, but maybe it doesn't make sense to focus a ton on them. And so this is really the validation of, okay, here's all the ideas. It's all in one place. Do we want to cut anything out that's not going to serve us right now? But also, what can we now just put out there, and what can we pass along with our strategic brand voice and like our style guide to make sure that our team is on the same page and that our message is just consistent across the different platforms that we're going to be advertising and marketing on, and all the different factors that are going to go into that side. Again, you might not necessarily need to use, you might not need to create a new brand style guide every time you run a brief, but it's certainly a helpful thing to have on hand. And going through that process once is going to save you a lot of time down the road. If you don't have it, if you do have it, then just include that here in this section. And then I'd move on to the micro content, which here, a popular use of this section is going into a tool like Canva or some other creative design software like Figma, and adding the quotes that you create, editing them, and to the point where you're ready to go and put them on maybe your X account, or start a conversation on LinkedIn, or it's for your Instagram feed, or you want to shoot the actual short content. So you take that as a bullet point idea for the scripts, and then you go and shoot the shorts, and then you post the shorts and schedule that out on your social media scheduler. So the point here is that you're getting 80% of the way there to go do the rest of the work to put it into action, and then again, schedule that content out. And then moving on to the WH brainstorming questions, you want to build a lot of conversation and thought leadership around a specific topic. Then use this section to help with brainstorming different questions that you're going to want to consider to answer all the things that could be top of mind for your audience inside of a market that is experiencing different problems, different pains, different hopes, dreams, desires. And again, you're using this in line with the blueprint and the strategic creator brief that we've already created and our micro content. So we can tie it all together here and have what can end up being anywhere from 10 to 40 plus pages of an actionable go-to-market strategy that is giving you different insights into what's driving your best customers to buy and what's making them make their decision in a matter of seconds once you've got one of these briefs. And you can create content, use that to inform the content that you're creating, and all of it to come back and then rinse and repeat as you go through the rest of the content production process. You distribute it, and then you optimize and review the results, and then feed that back into updating one of these briefs. I would recommend at least once a quarter updating one of these briefs once you're putting it into action. But ideally, you're updating one of these briefs for every one of your campaigns that you're going to be running, if it's a monthly cadence or otherwise. So something to consider, and something to really focus in on how you are implementing these briefs in your business, whether, again, it's just for yourself and taking your own ideas to market, to validating and testing those ideas and accelerating that idea into impact, or you're using this across your team or your agency to make you more effective and streamline your marketing workflows, especially on the customer research side. This traditionally has been something that has either been a form of like pushing product launches off and gathering feedback from people. But now with AI, we can do this much, much faster, and it's not going to cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars to some big ticket consulting firm. This is something you can do very cost effectively and affordably once you understand how to implement this methodology that, again, because AI advances so quick, is going to continue to innovate and evolve over time. But right now, what's working inside of this book, and as you can see with the case studies that are found in the next sections, which I'm sure we'll do separate episodes with different interviews with each of these case study members, potentially, but nothing is for sure right now. But as you go through each of those case studies, you can see the different markets, the different industries, and the different applications of a tool like this, and you can get insights that people that participated in this case study and submitted their information for a buyer's brief as we were developing this book and this entire framework, that it's all actionable, and it's all information that is going to help make you make better decisions in your marketing and your product development and your customer experience. And at the end of the day, the responsibility is on you or your team or your brand to articulate your message in such a way that it can connect with more people. If you're selling a product that's ethical and is doing good in the world, then my ultimate goal with this book is to help you with selling more of that, because you're able to refine your messaging, you're getting more clarity on your positioning and how to get more the right customers into your business, and using this process in an ethical manner so that you are doing more good in the world, and you are getting your message out there to connect and resonate and build your business while nurturing and helping other people solve problems in their life. So my name is Darby Rollins, and it concludes the core content of our mini series for the Buyer's Brief book, which you can get online on Amazon and our website, and potentially more places as we continue to expand our distribution of the book. But make sure that you are subscribed to us if you like this content, you found it useful, and share with me. Just send me a message here on social media or an email that you can find us through the contact form on our site, and let us know how you've implemented the book for you. That's genaiuniversity.com to learn more about our products and our programs and our services. And in the next episode of this, I'm just going to wrap things up with a few recommended resources so you can have that all in one place. I'll see you on the other side.